Hey, Grand Rising, everybody. It is Sunday, 6:46 to 6:47, 3/16/2025. Just gonna start the day. Hey, guys, check it out. Ooh, I got a Bible. Okay, we're gonna have a nice Sunday morning Christian thing going on here. Uh, Opposition halts work. Ezra 4:1. Let's go ahead and just like grab some from here. Um, let's see. Let's. Where can we jump in here? How's everyone doing? Everyone doing okay? Let's see. Yeah, we just got a little bit of a sacrifice here. They make a sacrifice. They're building a church. Yeah, they're like building a church for God and the King. Then the people of the land weakened the hands of the people of Judah and troubled them in building, and hired counselors against them to frustrate their purpose all the days of Cyrus, king of Persia, even until the reign of Darius, king of Persia, and the reign of the Ahasuerus. Man, this Hebrew. Am I the only one like dense, huh? In the beginning of his reign, wrote they unto him an accusation against the inhabitants of Judah. And in the days of Artaxerxes wrote Bishlam, Meredith, a bunch of names, the rest of their companions unto this guy, king of Persia. And the writing of the letter was written in the Syrian tongue and interpreted in the Syrian tongue. So they go out of their way to write this. They're deliberately pissing off these guys. Like after they just sacrificed, they're deliberately pissing them off to make them like halt their work. It says they're stopping them. Reum, the chancellor, and Shimshai, the scribe, wrote a letter against Jerusalem, and Artaxerxes is, what the fuck? I can't read this fucking shit. Is this the Bible? Excuse me. I know this is blasphemous, but holy fuck. What the fuck are these names even? This Hebrew is so dense. Who has time to actually like let it hit their like corneals? How do you let them hit that pineal gland and just like decalcify your skull? Yeah, right. Nobody's got time for that. Listen, all I'm understanding here is that, oh my god, okay, get that the hell out of here. All I'm understanding is that people want you to stop doing what you're doing on purpose, and they'll go to great lengths to make that happen and insult you so that you stop working. And here I am. I'm literally being like pushed to the brink of like nausea, and I'm like kind of just sitting here. I can't even watch this shit anymore. Um yeah, this shit's fucked. Yeah. Okay, so that's kind of my day. Quite literally opened up a page to the Bible, and it says that so and so's halting the work on somebody else on purpose to just kind of get the attention they didn't get when they were having a different thing going on. And simply because somebody sacrificed something as a whole, like it was multiple people, right? And these people, like, basically are upset. They sacrificed stuff to get what they needed. And it just seems like that's a big red flag. People shouldn't have to starve to get what they need, okay? And people also shouldn't get upset when people sacrifice things to get what they need. For example, I'm currently dealing with this whole apartment. I may or may not have to sacrifice this apartment because Sadie, my upstairs neighbor, Sadie Davis, has been she's been continuing just adding more interruptions to my process, and now I can't make money. I don't make money. I've had a number of people stop me from trying to make money. I'm not quite sure why there's this attraction. Maybe it's my face. Maybe it's just my confidence that like I've got my life figured out in the midst of a lot of 20-year-olds. So I imagine I'm 34. I imagine they're looking at me and being like, God damn it, if I was 34, I'd be doing what you do, but better. So if that's what's going on, and in fact, they're probably right, because most of the 20-year-olds that I know got set up by, they're like my younger siblings. So, like, in that sense, my mom's generation, the boomers, the baby boomers, they all decided that once the millennials left the nest, and they did it in such rebellion against their families and, like, money and the just generational welfare. There's a complete, like dissonance happening between, like, millennials and zoomers based on how well their parents are grooming them for the working force, for having jobs, for being saved up so they don't come back home after they go off and get a trade. This is something my mom could not be bothered with, okay? And yet, somehow, my older sister, a Gen Xer, who co-opts millennial culture and then Zoomer culture using things like Comic-Con, has also put stifled and interruptions into my progress simply because of the desirable effects. Now, if I had gotten they want me to get a regular 9 to 5 that beats you the fuck down into submission so that you conform. I don't want to conform. All I wanted to do was make beats, make music, and then, like, figure the rest out as I go. I wanted to make friends, I wanted to network. I wanted to do what most millennials saw as, like, desirable art. I get pushed to the wayside because I'm not popular, I'm not, like, a popular kid in Chicago. It was impossible for me to get more popular than I did. And I mean, I frankly broke through plenty of friend groups. And so it's not like I'm incapable. I'm just from a different place trying to make nothing into something. Okay? This whole failure of not being more like Fall Out Boy Pete Wentz or some crap in Chicago has followed me all the way into my 30s. Something I was told would not be here today. And now, because of future faking from my parents and a bunch of other people's parents, people like me get displaced. Now, it wouldn't be such a big deal if it didn't have something to do with our current status of events. Okay? We have we have cause and effect, and if this isn't the desired effect, somebody needs to help me do something about this. Because if everybody decided to take a right back there on Donald Trump, and I'm over here trying to be a Bernie Sanders, like clear the student loans, what does that mean for what happened to all that inertia that went from like stark liberal, like fiscal kind of responsibility to this very irresponsible thing going on? And why is everybody all of a sudden like done trying to get out of student debt? It's only been like a decade. I don't think that many people have landed these slick opportunities that like Sadie upstairs is assuming more people should have in place. So it's insulting. It's really insulting because this person's going out of their way to make it difficult for me to find my footing. And so are Kat and Sam, the two trans girl neighbors that I picked up during lockdown to house, feed, and like basically move in next door so they didn't have to live in their cars, live in bad family situations. Okay? If this doesn't seem very Jesus-like, let me know. My birthday's on Christmas. It's like kind of like how I'm like able to like be a part of all of this enigmatic sort of esoterica. And it's basically the sole reason why I'm just sitting here more or less bitching about my current state of affairs, because if I had access to getting the job positions that I actually deserve at 34, then that would add into the interests of why I'm important. But if it's on me to go find this like holy grail of positions that allow me entry to barrier into like the more prestigious preppy kinds of workplaces that give you that leverage in reality, but it comes at the cost of like conforming, then how come nobody was able to land that for me? How did I end up outside of all of this? And I'm supposed to like have experience doing certain things, and more than none, the standardization of accelerators going into their particular needs being met. Yes, because let's face it, Zoomers are really picky, and that's the only reason why I'm currently getting picked on. I live next to several Zoomers who were promised other things, and they were allowed into certain promises that a millennial like me was never addressed, because our parents were not there for us like they are for Zoomers today. And my parents never let me forget it. And in fact, because it's 7 a.m., my parents have not let me forget it. Okay? If that's happening, someone just said cap. Sadie just said cap. Sadie said that's cap. Okay? 7 a.m. 3:16. Yep, Sadie upstairs, she just said it in my freaking right ear. I could hear it fucking go in there. Okay, now if that's helping people make money, and boomers told the Zoomers that there's an entire world of fiscal irresponsibilities as long as you make this much before this time in your life, why was I not aided and I was just settled on in like, hey, shouldn't you have it figured out? Shouldn't you have this money thing figured out? And meanwhile, I'm being interrupted. My work's being interrupted, much like this Ezra Bible verse. Opposition halts work. And quite literally, I can't be more of in the thick of it. So this is where we're at today. And like, if Jesus is in like a weird place financially, and like the government knows I'm Jesus, but they're willing to be like, hey, we'll just throw you in jail if you end up homeless. If I'm being like threatened, or if the social media is utilizing like scared to fear mongering to get people motivated, it's just pissing me off at this point. And I can't really get a good beat of it. And I don't know where else to turn to. They literally used witchcraft. The Zoomers and the Boomers have used witchcraft and a bunch of mistakes to make my life a living hell. And every day that I'm not on top of my own shit, I end up getting thrown to the wayside for something better, or a less palatable conversation. So that's something that I'm currently suffering through. I'm sacrificing plenty of my like dignity just so people can get their fucking say in. But it's getting to a point where people can't control them. They're reactive. Okay. So if you're also going through some things that are reactive, stay stiff in the face of adversity here, but be flexible too. Because you gotta get through the rounds on people, and like you gotta have a backbone. But at the same time, if you're not flexible, then you're never gonna get past this point of opposition. And that's kind of the whole point of being able to move freely in the world at all. And if it's in the goddamn Bible, I can guarantee you that it's still a possibility. This thing's not that bad, okay? The Bible ain't that bad, especially when you're looking for source material to just be like, this has happened before on this planet at all. And if I just pick up where I'm putting it down in some of the soothsaying that has become more trendy with the advancement of tarot and magic and spirituality, angel numbers, then they'd put actual merit into the science of what it is that I'm trying to help people here at Paraconomy Inc. understand that it is a big part of how we get from A to B. Is you find the problem, address the problem, and then fix it. You find what it is, say this is the problem. You round up, round down, okay, and take it home with you. And then if that doesn't work, then it's cursed. It's clearly this cursed thing going on, right? So in witchcraft, it seems like cursing a curse doubles down, excuse me, it's like cursing the curse. It's like, it's some weird fuddy-duddy way of going about and creating starve welfare for men, okay? For whatever reason, that's how it's being utilized against me today, okay? People are like, you're a man. Why are you dressing up like a woman? You're not, and then like the double standard. You're a woman. You shouldn't be acting like a man. So that's kind of what's going on with me as a trans person in the LGBT community at all. Something that I co-opted, honestly. I wasn't gay growing up. Not super gay, but like, okay, if your sister's taking ballet and you see that your child's also like following suit and wearing all sorts of things, and it keeps drawing out, you should probably like check that box off and be like, I remember having the conversation with my family when I was about 5 or 6, dude. And like, yeah, dude, they were like, when you're in your 20s, you can decide if you want to wear girl clothes and we'll be fine with that. And they're not. So like, if that's something that I've kept track of since I was like knee high, and like everybody else just decided to just move the middle part around a lot, why hasn't my day like fulfilled itself? Why am I not well off? Why all these other gay people seem to be well off? Oh wait, we just flipped the switch on secular standardization. So if you're not already in the know of like how to be fiscally conservative, you don't also get to have the privileges of somebody who is conformed. So it's this double standard in America of being able to sit on your prize winnings of what you get to take with you in life, and being able to slosh around in what's physically there. So we have this like thing we put meaning to, and then we have this thing that like already holds meaning. So like if those things don't sync up, people assume you're like mentally unstable. All right. Now if you're like me, it's clear you are just, you say things that make people have to think about their self-awareness, and that just puts you with undesirables because people don't actually want, they've shown me they don't want to think. Okay, this is a huge part of what I just pulled out of this opposition, as people can't be bothered to feel compassion or empathy towards whatever it is that people are effectively slinging towards the opposition. And if it halts opposition, right, just by standing in your stubborn reactiveness, right? Because that's essentially what we need to address here, is that people are being so goddamn stubborn about certain things in their lives, and it could be moved around. People get that this shit could be moved around, and it's yeah, the fool. It's the plight of the fool. Um, and that's like a huge part of creating displacement, especially in the Bible, is if you're foolish, like you're guilty, um, but if you're foolish, you're also like innocent. So it's like tricky because people don't know. People just don't know where to put you when they don't feel whole. Um, and that's also in the Bible. If you're not whole, you shouldn't decide things for people who are whole. And they'll let you know. Um, and that's like the part that like I think is getting missed on my Zoomer neighbors who are way too picky. They're just like they can't they will never know what it's like to hang out with somebody who's this down to earth, because people who are actually down to earth don't have to react to people who aren't. And that's probably why it's taking so long for some of these lessons to play out for some of these people. A lot of people are going around meaning, okay? People are going around history to rewrite themselves into history the right or the wrong ways. And to be honest, if it wasn't for my company, Paraconomy, right here, I would be all but written out of history. And that's basically what's happened is all these vapid gossip angels, right? That everybody looks at these people with high regard, have lied about me. They lie about me. They lie to me and about me to other people so that they look better in the vast scheme of being homeless, being displaced, being unpopular, the works, okay? Vanity. Because of vanity, I'm being displaced as a fixture in a place where I could be helpful, and they're just like they're wasting my time. Everybody's just wasting my time. So I guarantee you that like this could be fixed with money. People have access to said money. This could be fixed with power. People have access to said power. Okay, there's judges getting involved in this thing. There's neighbors just outrightly not getting what they want, and that's just having me leave and be in a worse place. Dude, these people are cruel. Okay? Michigan is not what it used to be. And it's a lot it's just it's not healthy for people to be living so reactively that they can't even they can't control their mouths at this point. They can't even control their thoughts. So that's Christian